Take notice of every single part of it, the marrow and the cartilage, the ending and the start of it. I do it for the art of it, put my sweat and my heart in it, cultivate it and I garden it. I sheriff and I warden it, keep it honest so I never have to pardon it. The people, how they marvel it, solid like a marvel, it's wonderful and marvelous, beautiful and barbarous, beat addicts anonymous, original isonymous, primal flow. You can call me optimist, it's supersonic, hypnotic, philosophic, descent Teutonic. It's not bubonic, we sipping Prophet's tonic. A splash of bourbon on it, that Maison Rouge is brolic, that Alhambra Masonic. You think it's alcoholic, but this is future logic. Algorithmic beyond it, minimize the negs and you maximize the positively on the shits like I got the beat in pocket. And who want talk it, we in that rocket bracket, real champions, nothing stop it. That ball is rolling, looks to me that ship is going, ain't no mooring, that ship is foreign, my ship is soaring. Take notice, I'm on a flight tonight, excite no boring, excite no taxes forum. All year long talking, this is not the forum, the proper venue. And may I lend you a tissue for your tears as the media invents another issue for your fears. My truth is like my magnet, I approach it as it nears. To get the angle right, I use another couple mirrors. Take notice, breathe deep and let it go, it came fluently, minus the shine and the jewelry. I realign to the truest me. Turpin the time, make a fool of we. I stay focused and take notice. Hold a thought as I contemplate the cruelty. Carry no baggage, duty free. Cleared my thoughts, made it plain, no truancy. In a language that ain't new to me. Recently I grew to see that we have been convinced to demonize the wise and represent the foolery in this new era time. Same tree, new cherry. Fourth and fifth, our moves are legendary for a fact. We're not goons, we're emissaries, whether we're moving with tools or schedularies in tune. Whether June or February, batteries not included, assembly necessary in the meeting place, closer than your capillary, with no black blood, cause black means dull and dreary. Sweetness of the juices to the darknesses of the berry. Copper tone, burgundy, brown skin beauties, keep shining on them, explosive incendiary. Take notice. Take notice while I mold the medley. Hold tight as I rock it steady. Ooh long, no that's a light bevy. The clouds part when the night's ready. And truth speaks when the heart's empty. A full belly and a goal make a man deadly. God body made of gold so they can't tempt me. I think of what the left did when the right kept me. The biggest foes in the rows will be mad friendly. Rise up too quick, get mad bendy. True land gentry, dispossessed in a mad frenzy. Always question the last entry. Walk softly and land gently. But if you're backed into a corner, drop the world on them. Unleash, unfurl on them. Go beast, go Earl on them. Go ham, go Canaanite. It's tough love, call me Amorite. Take notice, all ye Moors and sundry. Reform and regroup like Gumby. I'd say we're fortunate, not lucky. We're standing on the shoulders of giants, family. Trust me, happiest man alive, I take my joy on the run. Original man, I take my food from the sun. Keep it phonetic, cause I'm still having fun. And we'll still be at the top when it's done. And it's a must we fill a think tank till the needle breaks off. And keep giving thanks till you scream your face off. Take notice.
Stay focused. Take notice. Take notice, stay focused on the fine print. Never sign shit without reserved rights right beside it. Bind it, cause my sign of nature is divine. Kids searching for a style like this, you can't find it. Take notice of the true motives of your opponents. Zone in on that vulnerability, then expose it. Show them that the spell of hypnosis has been broken, cause the serpent's reached the top of the column. Now he's floating. Take notice. Take notice. Yo, divinely prepared to have your mind stay repaired on a wing and a prayer. Yo, it's time to declare bloodline and pedigree while the sunshine is wetting me, never setting on the empire, expanding exponentially with intent to let it breathe. Tried to lock it up, bent the key. Along came noble Drew Ali, taught you how to set it free. Told you only half, not the whole, cause he knew where it lead. Right back to your bed sheets, getting sleep, catching Z's 100 years later. Exactly how he said it be, cause you and you alone can exercise the remedy information to save a nation. Take and save yourself and anyone else who cares to study and share the wealth. So please be yourself, let it be. There's more to tell, need to heed. The ministry that leads to higher self supersedes desires, hell, energies, rise and fell. To succeed in industry needs supreme clientele. Through deed and through action, bring your soul satisfaction. Rather show and prove, spark a slow chain reaction. First love, then truth, start chemically reacting. Peace and freedom go hand in hand like the sun and moon dancing. If these four are violated, there is an understanding. The hand's been forced, injustice then must take action. I'm the straw man standing at the center of the flag, the center of the universe, steadily busting back. Respect and honors of the most highest accord to them upright, independent, fearless tight swords whom for all of us have truly endured, bore the brunt of this movement. So stop talking that manure. You jocking de facto, we rock with de jure. We uplift humanity, you causing discord. No sword off shotgun, just a hand on the sword for you suckers clinging to brands that'll have you as wards. A reminder of sorts for those knocked off course. On this side here, these rising tides and shores, we straight up ride for the rise of the Moors. Political prisoners who abide by law. These so-called courts still haven't shown probable cause. Need to come to this realization, we facing colonization. No more debating, clear case of trading places, placing $1 bets for the sake of forsaking our people. So heed the call of the nation, it's time for rebuilding, just keeping it a billion. Beginning with our children, start molding their brilliance. No more holding in feelings, keep the psyche resilient, cause mental health is wealth. Inside this pavilion, let us raise our seeds properly, to know that they're not property, to take their rightful place as heirs, fulfilling prophecy. Quite the anomaly being that you lost your seat, sat you in the back, now you're moving with hostility. Bomb atomically, lawfully, with honesty. We calmly speak on birthright, you screaming about sovereignty. Miss me with that nonsense, all hella emotional. Only respond to intelligent tone. These agents all pause once the guard walks in, floss and head wrapped flawless. Eyes lock, gawk, and they lack the gravitas so bad. I'm going all in, they call me Jaws. My fez is like a shark's fin. Take notice, this a demand and not a motion. A noble traveling his land by locomotion. An adept is one who can command emotions, whose thoughts are infinite like sands in the ocean. Take notice, this composed writ a magnum opus. 30 days to respond to this chapter is closed, and this is lawful over legal. Anything else is bogus, no hocus pocus poses, catching the white fist of the lotus. Take notice. Take notice. Take notice of jurisprudence and its components. Take notice of how you're moving in the moment. Take notice of the ancestors whispering in your ear. Take notice of the oppressors' miseries and fears. Take notice the position of the sun, moon, and stars. Take notice their processions tell you who you are. Take notice your dominion over creatures, land, and sea. Take notice you're the master of everything, 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 everything. This place has everything. Come on, I'll show you.
It was written, so we wrote it.
And now we spoke it.
8 diagram in the stem
of the lotus.
Disneyland history. The
Teachers hocus pocus.
only unlocked the mystery.
The people need to know this.
And now
Take
we know it.
notice.
It was written, so we wrote it.
And now we spoke it.
7 in the middle of a circle for opening. Disneyland history.
The
They
teachers hocus pocus.
only unlocked the mystery.
The people need to know this.
Now we
Take
know
notice.
this.
No stagnation, we a star nation.
364 to graduation, spinning in levitation, cross station rotation, stay grounded in all locations.
Head color for the occasion. It's war outside. Chemtrails drop like shell cases. We repel cases with knowledge from our bookcase.
You can tell how they ride, fix your faces. You in the basement, lower self and pride, going up like staircases. Through faces we ride.
Like loaves of bread, hold your head, spoken word is sword, invoking lead. The reptile sheds their forehead on my Air Forces. Leather seats like Moroccan bosses. My will don't cross it.
Drink the water from this faucet. Lost try to proceed with caution. Keep the treaties in a piece like documents up in the office.
Up in the process of claiming names and filling goblets, gripping hands with Moors like Devin Thanos with their gauntlet. As promised, back to our rightful places. My nation's marching, no squatting, unless we talking bars and parks there.
Out in the tropics and plagiarizing, I can stop it. This Moorish paradigm hurt your feelings, but it's logic.
I'm locked in, like Neo locked in, the Hashem doctrine, lyrical slap boxing, Tyson Ali and Hopkins.
We in the pit marching, I keep a type of options, chopping up the block, then hit the bullseye spot.
Steam out the nostril, they ride not, noble men get robbed now. We not guapping cop plots with avocado crowd.
X marks the spot like clogs in parking lot. That's where the cipher starts on it, buzz is posted off.
So take
No, I
notice.
got a mission that I'm on, aiming at the Albion, Ema disco with olive oil on the disco dance flow, sliding like it's Clisco. Yeah, man, know the Moorish paradigm, shining like a paradigm, stand on 10 toes. They overthrowing paradise, we taking notice. Yo, Noble True Ali brought the prophecy to NBC. Open, lock, and key, and notice how we be in person properly. A lot don't like the Mali Islam, Fararaji Ali. I'm the Omega mate. I came to demonstrate. Salt and pepper, season up your plate. Occupy your proper place amongst the human race. The current state is hate. Blurry lost the way I came to educate. Talk energy, violate. Violence you orchestrate. Violence and operate. Population populate your rifle space. Overcoming opposition, obstacles obliterate. Pure and clean nation state. Narrow straight, take notice.
Take notes.
Survival is not a rival to a wise fool. I fertilize you when I drop the shit with them whites do. Steam blowing out the nostril to still ride you. Ambassador place, Morocco flags when we slide through. Divine truth, undeniable. Y'all give it right to recite truth. I'm climbing out of Rome with my Bible. Freedom a big move. The sheep can stay if they like to. But I am nothing like you, so I'm not obliged to. And GMO rappers getting faker than our food. I did close the gate, determine the fate of these wild fools who bars them out to the street value of 3 volumes without 3D valuables. My bars speak volume. Entertainment can't contain my men or contaminate my mind. I'm walking straight when I'm bent. Ring their neck from North Shore to Bangladesh. And every day to pass over, it ain't safe for kids. I'm explosive, dynamite, far from novice. Consider this affidavit, no, just posted in your subconscious. Weeding out the rap nonsense when I drop no responses. What's the problem? My naga, I'm a novelist. I'm not a novice knocking nonsense. When I navigate, that does not exist. They delay the process for paper profits. What say the prophet? Let's save the conscience. What's poppin'? Take notice.
It was written, so we wrote it.
And now we spoke it.
8 diagram in the stem
Of the lotus.
Disneyland history.
The teacher's hocus pocus.
Earlier locked the mystery.
The people need to know this.
And now
Take
we know it.
notice.
It was written, so we wrote it.
And now we spoke it.
7 in the middle of a circle for opening. Disneyland history.
The
They
teacher's hocus pocus.
earlier unlocked the mystery.
The people need to know this.
Now we
Take
notice.
Take notice. Take focus. We can't take colors, man. Be it. Take notice. Better be that, better be right. It's a mess for we to clean. Eyes wide open, she says while she sleeps. Looking in the book, he be counting shade. Near you is a Canis Lopez. He let it come the closest. He throws his focus. Didn't care about the past, didn't want to know he is. Snake in the grass, I'm in the Ford Focus. I'm a weird Moor, take notice. At least I'm not bogus. I'm in personage. Under the sky dome is my domicile home. Take notice. My body died this year, but I'm back on this. I got work, you got church. Some good Moors are still captured. Pastors are bastards. This unnatural disaster's past the standard. Scales tip or balance. Kidnap Moors, we're not silent. Take notice. Free rides to the Moors. Camping is non-violent. Take notice. We can't take colors. Lie. Emily Corstetter denied more bail from some trumped up charges for probable causes. Quasi corrupt and set up. Take notice. Attorneys are officers of the court. that's a conflict. Folks at the Supreme Judicial Court say, for this particular instance, COVID proof, no need to keep 6 feet distant. Take note, they got squirrel's foot. The world look through this information, assuming jurisdiction on the occupation. 1478, Tribunal del Sonta, Officio de la Inquisition. Ferdinand and Isabel still running with no intermission. Take notice. Your favorite rapper is a house nigga, ninja. Be my guest, not a passenger. Be your first, not the last in ya. Finish it, says the Black Widow. Take notice. We not colored tonight. Take notice. He a snack for ya. Nature's beautiful and vicious when attacking. Build up where you're lacking. Your backbone is not backing. Black owned, what is that you flapping? No such thing, just acting. True persona, they don't wanna take notice. You up, sleepwalking. We on front page, way under the profit. I'm done, say something positive. Out to nature, Cal L. Take notice. With or without the cape, an eye laser. Take notice. Was a minor, now a major. Give thanks to the creator. Take notice. They changed the transhumanism. Boy, no it's not. When they use a tool to clip, left the slit. Chromosomes still a Y, so you're still a manish. Sexuality crisis. Take notes, I know this. Set a price on what's priceless. Corpses are lifeless. You can't stand. Cutting through the 76 with a grand slam. The base empty. Who Drew did it? Got you home and they know this, man. You didn't take notes though. Vamps got your blood in the cup, overflow. Leak, but they won't play this on the radio like overflow. With nonsense. Why you can't be yourself? Busy being everybody else. Look at the image in the mirror. Take notice. Put it all over the shelf. Take notice. Strange how they be. Strange how they be. When you fire, they never retire. Try to put the flames out on we. Things free, not a fee. How we gonna pay? We ain't got no S or a G. OLD. Take notice.
Islam Moors, we're out here. You know, we had to get the continuation from yesterday. But we got the cut short. We got the cut short because those Moors went in last night. Honors to all the Moors who have the respect for the platform to know to mute themselves. Not hearing their belching and all types of BS that was going on last night. Honors to the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors. You already know we got to update the Moors who not on IG or whatever before we get to the questions. So we had Moors out here talking about there will be no unity until Moors adhere to Islam and submit to the rules and laws of Allah. Now look at the grand sheiks who constantly disrespect, insult, verbally abuse, backbite, call Moors outsider their names and the like. Ain't no grand sheiks doing that. Only Cujo does that. What is the grand sheiks? What grand sheiks cuss these people off? Tell them go suck theirself. You know other grand sheiks have enough guts to cuss these people off? Tell them fuck off and all that. They want to play learn to love instead of hate games. Them days are over. Grand sheiks are even the ones that sold the hell out. Sold out completely. Sold out, whether they got their check, whether they got their store, whether they got their building, whether they got their car, whether they got whatever it is that they got. 90%, 95% of the people who are grand whatevers in the Moorish movement, supreme grand whatevers, they've been sold out. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to be Moorish Science Temple still. That doesn't mean that we're going to budge, because these people sold out, ran the prophet's name through the mud, ran the Moorish Science Temple of America, ran the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. You don't even hear about Old Canaanite Temple anymore. You don't even hear about Moorish Divine National Movement anymore. Ran it through the mud. Just so what? Just so the people could look at it as like some fuck shit, when that's the only salvation that these people have. And the only reason why they're failing, the only reason why our people have nothing, of all these brothers and sisters from the East coming here, taking all these people's reparations, taking it all. And all they could do is bitch and complain, like the bitches that they are. That's all they could do. Complain and cry, not do anything about it. Complain and cry, not do a goddamn thing, but talk shit. Like these Moors right here talking shit. You'll have unity when you adhere to Islam. No, you won't. Stop lying. Stop lying. Because unity has a law definition. That ain't nothing to do with adhere to Islam in the definition of unity. Go look it up. Whether you look etymology, look it up. Whether you law dictionary, look it up. Whatever version, whatever edition, go look up unity and tell me if it says anything about adhering to Islam there. People are lying, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to sound smart. They can't even put gas in the goddamn thing. Can't even put gas in there. Talking crazy. They can't even do it. Can't even put gas in a tank. They're talking about Islam and Allah. These people haven't once stepped out and went back to bearing arms. They've been playing Muslim games. Right? Then they're going to talk BS. See, people talk about Noble Drew Ali and that he's a pedophile. How come Moors aren't talking about that? Why are Moors going to talk about that for? That's a nigger newspaper that said that. Some hating ass niggers said that BS about Noble Drew Ali. The hell we got to talk about that for? What we will talk about is this prophet Muhammad that these people keep repping. And this is from the revered hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari. Revered means that all the Muslims recognize these hadiths, all of them. Ain't no Muslims arguing with these hadiths. Well, in these hadiths about Prophet Muhammad, it talks about the Prophet married Aisha when she was 6 years old. And he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. You know what consummated means? It means he was thighing her at 9 years old, the Prophet Muhammad. Now, if you're a Moorish scientist, you already know if Jesus is justice, which means it's not a man, then when Noble Drew Ali said Confucius, you think he's talking about a man? When Noble Drew Ali said Buddha, you think he's talking about a man? When Noble Drew Ali said Muhammad, you think he's talking about a man? Probably not, if he told you that Jesus means justice, and justice is not a man. Justice is one of our principles. We recognize all divine prophets. Okay, so that means every prophet, and Drew Ali is the thought of Allah. And Buddha is the thought of Allah. And Confucius is thought of Allah. And Muhammad is the thought of Allah. And Noble Drew Ali said he was 5 times greater than the prophets before him. Obviously, that means he's the 5th one. So obviously, this means that if Jesus is justice, then that means all these other prophets, including Drew Ali, have to be the other principles. Because we're scientists. We're not mere believers of some Moorish religion that Noble Drew Ali brought us, some Moorish religion. The Noble Drew Ali said, Quran of Mecca. Mecca is Chicago. Because we're Moorish scientists. We're not Muslims. Mecca isn't over there. Mecca is Chicago. Quran of Mecca is Noble Drew Ali's Quran. Because I'm a Moorish scientist. I'm not a mere believer. And we already told you that we had the dream of Noble Drew Ali when we came into this. And then he was sitting on the bed and he was smiling. Which lets me know that we got the seal of approval of Noble Drew Ali from the soul plane to do whatever it is that we got to do, because we're doing more than any of these Moors after Noble Drew Ali who claim that they're grand sheiks and grand whatever. They haven't done shit in 80 years. Haven't done anything for the people. All they did was do for their selfish self. That's all they did. Do for their selfish self. Egomaniacs. So when we start talking about Muhammad and pedophilia and all that stuff, we're talking about that man. We're not talking about one of the principles that Noble Drew Ali brought, why he told us to honor all divine prophets. Because when you look up prophet in the metaphysical dictionary, prophet's not a man. Just go look it up. Then why are you going to honor Noble Drew Ali? Because we have pictures of him to know that he's real. We have pictures of Noble Drew Ali to know that he's real. These Muslims can't even show you anything of Muhammad. Because you can't paint pictures of the Prophet Muhammad. You can't do that. That's haram. You're a sinner because you have pictures of Muhammad. Think Noble Drew Ali was honoring some pedo when he mentioned Muhammad? No, he wasn't. Why would Noble Drew Ali be honoring a pedophile? The Sahih Bukhari collection of hadith is considered to be the most authentic collection of the teachings and sayings of Prophet Muhammad. The most authentic. So in the most authentic hadith, like we only have one hadith. We don't have any different versions of the oral statements of Noble Drew Ali that you could pick from. We don't have no collection of hadiths. We have one book of hadiths for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. These people, they have versions of hadiths, all of them saying different stuff. Well, guess what? The Bukhari collection is the most authentic one. And then, don't forget, go look up thigh. If you don't get it, if you're missing something, just go look up thigh. Go look up thigh. Right? And then when you look up thigh, that's what Muhammad was doing to Aisha when she was 9 years old. People are full of BS. Giving up Noble Drew Ali for Muhammad. Talking about you got some authority from Muhammad. The hell are you talking about? Noble Drew Ali is the prophet. What do you need authority from Muhammad for? Muhammad has nothing to do with America. That was a play. That was a move on the board that Noble Drew Ali did by talking like that. You want Moors to be Muslims? Why do you want Moors to be Muslims? He's an Egyptian adept. The hell would he want to be a Muslim for? He's an Egyptian adept, but he's telling Moors to be Muslims. He's a Moorish scientist, but he's telling Moors to be Muslims. And then Moors are running over there to go be in the mosque and all this other madness. When they're not even coming to temple meetings. They're not even going to the Moorish Science Temple and go do their salat in there. They're going to go to these foreigners' rostrum to go play like they honor somebody. They honor somebody. We're honoring somebody. Please. Noble Drew Ali told all you Moors, salvation has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks perhaps is truth. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. Fruition is last, and this is man himself, the truth. Belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost. And man is saved when he reached deific life, when he and Allah are one. When he, man, and Allah are one, that's when you know you made it. But the Quran says, the Quran, the Muslim holy book says, O believers, believe strongly. These verses make it clear. In order to be a true believer, one has to have a firm belief, fear, and deep trust in Allah. This deep faith and conviction is displayed by praying continuously and giving generously in God's way. Didn't Drew Ali say belief and faith are fiction? Belief is what man thinks perhaps is truth, which means he doesn't know. So because of belief, you think you know something, but you don't know jack. Faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. Faith is when you know that it's truth. But there's another level. There's the level of being the truth. Fuck knowing what the truth is. How about being the truth? And the only way that you could be the truth is when you and Allah are one. When you reach deific life. When belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost. Which means ain't no belief and ain't no faith going on. Prophet Muhammad told all the Muslims to believe strongly. Why would he want them to believe strongly? Why? Why stay in the realm of believe? Why? Why? Noble Ali didn't want you to be a believer. He's an Egyptian adept. Adepts are not believers. If you're an adept, why are you going to go around telling people be a believer? It doesn't even make sense. Why are you an adept and then you're telling people, oh yeah, go follow that believer guy over there. That's where your salvation is, with that believer over there. Don't listen to me, who's an adept. Avoid me and go to the believer over there who I got the authority from to be an adept. What kind of jackass thinking is that? And again, they don't even have a picture of Muhammad, so there are no Muslims coming in here talking about they're gonna go tell that we're violating their religion. You guys don't even have a picture of Muhammad. So don't tell me nothing about violating anything. Because you don't even know what Muhammad looks like, Muslim. You can't even show me a picture of your prophet. So I don't want to hear anything about violating something. Stop it. Stop it. Once again, salvation has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks perhaps is truth. Faith is next. This is what man knows is truth. Fruition is last, and this is man himself, the truth. So we'll take a poll, right? If you have a choice, which one of these steps would you want to live the rest of your life in? If you had a choice and tomorrow you could be on one of these 3 steps to salvation, which step you gonna from the date right now till you transition in the earth plane, you could live in one of these 3 steps? Which step you gonna live in? Let's take a poll. Let's take a poll. Let's just see. We have 50 people on here, so we should have 50 answers in the chat. Do you want to live in the belief? Do you want to live in the faith? Or do you want to live in the fruition step? Which step are you picking? If you had a choice right now, if Noble Ali came right now and said, hey, these are your 3 options: belief step, faith step, or fruition step. Which step do you want to live the rest of your life in before you leave this earth plane? From this day moving forward. Fruition, 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 fruition. That's probably about 10. There's still 40 people who need to vote. There's still 40 people that need to vote. Because we want to know who we have on here. Fruition. 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 It's not hard. Easy poll. Noble Ali appears to you right now out of thin air. You see something in your peripheral, you look around, and then Noble Ali standing right there. And he says, Islam Moor, we're taking a poll to see where the Moor's level is at. The ancestors sent me. Salvation has 3 steps: belief, faith, and fruition. Which step do you want to live the rest of your life in? The belief step, the faith step, or the fruition step? And then he's looking at you and waiting for an answer. So far, the only answer we got was fruition. Now, I don't think these Moors are messed up in their head or whatever by saying fruition. Now, I don't think they don't honor Muhammad, or they don't recognize Islam, or they're not going to go to the mosque and pray or whatever because they said fruition. Said fruition because it's the logical answer. Why would you not want to be the truth? Why would you want to be what you think is the truth or what you know is the truth when you could be the truth? But this is where they're going to go. Play games with you. right? Play games with you. Don't let these people play games with you. Noble Drew Ali brought you everything it takes to save a nation. Told you take it and save yourself. Official rise of the Moors. Show me the alleged 9-year-old's birth certificate that proves what year she was born 1400 years ago. Just because your enemy says something doesn't mean it's true. Only someone with no logic would deny the revealed word of God Allah based on hearsay from their open enemy. Open enemy? Open enemy? Well, Muslims say that Aisha said, the Prophet married me when I was 6 years old. This is what Aisha said. Aisha is the enemy? How's Aisha the enemy? This is not making any sense. Imams say Aisha was 6 years old.
Says under Sharia, Muhammad was allowed to marry Aisha when she was 6. Would this be allowed under your system, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that many cultures practice to this day. And it's based on this biological reality. They're trying to maximize the fertility window of women because they want to have more children. And this is...
You'd have... Heku says, under Sharia, Muhammad was allowed to marry Aisha when she was 6. Would this be allowed under your system, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that many cultures practice to this day. And it's based on this biological reality. They're trying to maximize the fertility window of women.
They're trying to maximize the fertility window of women, so they're going to marry a 9-year-old. This is what Muslims are saying. This is their logic. Their logic is that a child is a woman, so they're going to bust her womb up. They're going to bust her womb up. This is what Muslims are talking about. He's Muslim. He's Muslim. He's a follower of Muhammad. And he's saying that he would allow that among his members. Justifying pedophilia under some religion, and then maximizing the fertility window, which means that they're trying to impregnate. They're trying to impregnate children to maximize fertility windows. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to believe that my prophet, Noble Drew Ali, said, honor all divine prophets, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, and I'm supposed to think that he's justifying this BS? Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. You're out of your goddamn mind. You must be out your goddamn mind. Because we already know, like we said, Jesus isn't real. That's a fictional name. Buddha isn't real. Buddha is a state of being. We know this. There were many Buddhas. There's not one Buddha. There were many Muhammads. Not just one Prophet Muhammad. There were many Muhammads. That's a cryptic name. Don't be fooled. Moors who are opposed to the propagation of the Mohammedan religion are enemies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Who said all Moors are Mohammedan? Where does it say that all Moors are Mohammedan? Where Drew Ali tell Moors they have to be Muslim? Oh, you said you're born that, right? You said you're born Muslim. Oh, so once you're Muslim, you could be whatever religion you choose. Because you're born Muslim. You ain't going to the mosque to be Muslim. You ain't go take Shahada to be Muslim. You're born Muslim. Muslims are born, not made, according to Noble Drew Ali. So if Muslims are born, not made, where do they get this idea that you have to be Mohammedan if you're a Moor? Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? If Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that Muslims are born, not made. Adepts are born, not made. Sheiks are born, not made. And somebody's running game on you. Somebody has to be running game on you. Somebody has to be running the game on you. That's the only thing that makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense.
You shut the fuck up when I'm talking to you, boy.
Anybody talking about Moors are opposed to the propagation of the Mohammedan religion means they're enemies of Prophet Muhammad. This is what you tell them.
Bitch made boy. You shut the fuck up when I'm talking to you, boy.
Tell them. Just tell them. Don't let them say anything else. Bitch made boys. Don't let them say anything else. They're a fraud. They're a liar. They're a liar. Don't fall for it anymore. You fell for it enough. People justifying some pedophilia. Why? Why are you justifying pedophilia? And then making it seem as if Noble Drew Ali was down with that. Noble Drew Ali wasn't down with that. How dare these people? How dare they? Playing damn games. Well, let's get to our questions. That's the update for all the Moors who don't have IG. If you missed, if you didn't hear, that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. All right. Don't let them play games with you. Don't let them play games with you. Because they're definitely playing games. Oh yeah, here's a good one for you too. Here's another good one for you.
Say, when I got to the lake, I saw Pat Riley made sure the place was full of fruit. Understanding Sahara's vibrating food. And I know we're going to talk about starch, me being of African descent and you being of cave descent. We have fruit. Those fruit give us the unbelievable energy. Our body was built different. I still believe we're all human. It's just that certain things are going to work in certain ways differently.
Because of genetic, how people are raised is different.
In Africa, there is none of this.
Right.
So that's not what your body is designed to deal with. Watch everyone go crazy over what I'm going to say. When I got to the Lakers, I saw Pat Riley made sure the place was full of fruit, understanding it's the highest vibrating food. And I know we're going to talk about starch, me being of African descent and you being of cave descent.
You being of what? What descent? And keep in mind that's John Sally. Bad boy Pistons. Me talking truth. Do you remember some years ago, Isaiah, Bad Boy Pistons? He was talking truth. He's telling about his African descent. And then Drew Ali told more the descendants of Africa are of the Canaanite nation. You think you missing it still? Don't miss it. And oh yeah, and remember all the people jumping around because the brother jumped over the judge's table and beat up the judge because she didn't want to give him parole.
Mr. Redmond, you've been given a copy of the criminal complaint this morning. Yes, I have been given one. You're being charged with count 1, attempt murder, victim 60 years of age or older, a felony. Count 2, battery on a protected person resulting in substantial bodily harm, victim 60 years of age or older, a felony. Count 3, extortion by threat, a felony. Count 4, intimidating a public officer, a felony. Count 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all battery on an officer, the same named victim. Oh, and by the way, I do not know any of the other victims named in the criminal complaint. Those are all felony offenses. Count 10, performance of act or neglect of duty and willful or wanton disregard of safety or persons of property resulting in substantial bodily harm or death, a felony. Battery on a protected person, count 11, that's a gross misdemeanor offense. Count 12, battery by a prisoner, a felony. Count 13, unlawful act related to human excrement or bodily fluid, a felony. All allegedly occurring on January 3rd of 2024. Do you understand these charges?
Do you understand? The Drew said, don't endanger your life with a fool. This guy's a fool. Because what are you even doing in there in the first place that you have to be up for parole? What did you do? What dumbass nigger stuff did he do to even be in there in the first place? What nigger stuff did he do? You still gonna be playing games? Now he got 11, 15 felonies or some BS because he thought he was cool, jumping over tables, strangling people. Don't be a dumbass. Please don't be a dumbass. Don't trust it. Don't be a dumbass. Let's get to our questions. There's a lot of dumbasses today. A lot. Are Moors considered African American because they don't have an army? Are Moors considered African American because they don't have an army? Well, let's look at other people. Let's look at other people. When people from the continent of Africa come over here, are they called African American? No, they're not. They're from Africa, right? Yes, they are. So why aren't they called African American if they're actually from Africa? We're not even going to talk about the army thing. We're not even going there because that's irrelevant. Moors are considered African American because they don't have a nationality. It ain't nothing to do with armies. This is the mindset of our people. The mindset of our people is so warped that they don't even think. People from the continent of Africa are darker than our people that's been in America. They're darker than us, but they don't get called black people when they come to America. If they look like tar and they come from the Sudan, they get called Sudanese when they come to America. They don't get called African American and they don't get called black. They get called by their nationality. Somebody looks like tar and they come from the Congo and they come to America. They don't get called African American and they don't get called black when they come to America, but they look like tar. And then put them in a dark room and all you see is eyes and teeth. And they still don't get called black. They get called Congolese. But I want to know about the army. We're not talking about armies. Armies have nothing to do with this conversation. What has to do with the conversation is that how come these people from over there don't get called African American or black when they are darker than us and come from that continent over there, which means they're African. So if they're African and they come to America, why aren't they called African American? Why are they called by a nationality? This is where the importance of knowing who Noble Drew Ali comes in. Because Noble Drew Ali taught that we're not Negro, black, colored, that we're Moors, and we have a nationality, just like all other human beings on the planet have a nationality. And if you don't identify yourself by a nationality, then you will be classified as whatever the citizens care to bestow upon you. Whatever name they want to call you, then that's going to be your name. Because you want to play don't have a nationality. So you got that out of the way. So now let's talk about this army thing. The Moorish army was originally the Mufti force, the Moorish Unified Front Towards Islam, MUFTI, Mufti. During Noble Drew Ali's time, Muftis were part of the National Guard. And anytime there was an issue, Noble Drew Ali can tell the Moors who were of the National Guard that there's an issue, and then they can go to the armory and bring back whatever it is that the Moors needed with no issues. The Mufti force got buried. They got that out of the way quick, fast. They got that out of the way. The next army for the Moors was the Moorish militia. And these were individuals who were ex-military, who took it upon themselves to be a militia for the Moors. They took it on themselves to be a militia for the Moors. Right? Then you saw where that ended up. You saw where that ended up. Oh, you forgot? Let's refresh. Let's refresh your memory, since you forgot. Since you want to play like you don't know what we're talking about. Let's give you a refresher. Remember these people? Remember these 11 people around the highway, the standoff with police and all that stuff? This is Moorish militia. To date, it's 3 years ago. To date, we only seen 2 of these people in the public. 9 people are missing. 9. To date, 3 years ago, to date, they haven't picked up one arm again. They used to go live every day bearing arms. Every day. They had the women out there, they had the children out there, they had the brothers out there, they had everybody out there bearing arms, training. Training to be Moorish militia. Eleven of them had a standoff on the highway. And we only seen 2 of them talk in the past 3 years. 9 people just disappeared, stopped talking. Right. This was supposed to be the Moorish army. Failed. How we know it failed? Because they haven't showed an arm ever since this incident happened. They haven't went out there with an arm ever since this happened. We've only heard 2 of them talk. Remember, right? 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. We only heard 2 of them talk. Where's these other 9 Moorish militia members at? Where are they? And why they stop being Moorish militia? Why they stop promoting right to bear arms? Why? You were exercising the right. You know, these colonists have no authority and all that stuff. So why you stop exercising the right? And instead of them just coming out and just saying, we got probation or we got some conditions or something like that, and we can't talk about this until our trial's finished or whatever like that, and they just be honorable and just be honest about the situation. They want to play like they're somebody still. They want to play like they're somebody. Why are they playing like why are they playing Muslims? And again, where's these 9 people at? Because 9 people are missing that we need to hear from. Because we're tired hearing from these people. Because they're full of BS. They're talking about be Muslim. They start going to the mosque and all that stuff. They weren't going to the temple as religious as they go to the mosque right now. But guess what?
Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! And I'd like you to get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! And I'd like you to get the fuck out of here! Get out of here!
All of them. All 9 of them. And then if you go watch NYP talk show, they had their ex-member, Aldwin Joel Marrow Bey, up there with Sharif Bey, talking about why Rise of the Moors failed. Why it failed. And you're not hearing them coming out talking about these people, talking about them and their failure. They're gonna be talking about the grand sheiks of the Moorish Temple and backbiting people and all that stuff. How about these people who used to be their members talking crazy about them? They have nothing to say about that? No comment? And this is anybody who is claiming the rise of the Moors, whatever, because everybody knows Aldwin. Everybody should know Aldwin because he's talking about he was at the meetings and all that. Not a peep. So then that lets you know that the whole concept of Moors need an army and all that stuff is a fraud. Moors don't need no damn army to do anything. Because if you have an army, then that means you're supposed to be using the weapons and all that stuff. And ain't no Moors going to be out here shooting at no highwaymen or anything like that. It ain't happening. We know ample amounts of Moors with arms, and none of them went out there to go talk about, we're going to go shoot up something. Not one Moor. Not one Moor. Now we know more with arms. I know Moors that got arms. The second Moor that spoke in besides Latimer was Rashad. And that was just 2 days ago or something like that. They went live. I ain't never seen them go live ever since the thing happened. That was like 2 days ago. I ain't seen Tarif since that stuff went down. I haven't heard from Tarif, nothing. Heard from him maybe 2 times. And then when I heard from him, he was doing some Negro black colored stuff. He wasn't doing anything Moorish from what I saw. And everybody knows this channel was a supporter of Rise of the Moors and Moorish militia. Cujo L was a supporter. of Rise of the Moors and Moorish militia. Moors, who we know, were supporters when they got kidnapped. We don't support them anymore. Because you smell something. And it's not agents or traders or sellouts. But I smell something. Ample amounts of Moors exercise their right to bear arms. There's not to be some Moorish army. And that's for self-defense of their property or their home, their body, or whatever. And all they gotta do is just be honest. All the 9 whoever's, just be honest. Like what's going on? We've been supporting y'all for a whole year. These 9 people get locked up, then they get out and nothing, no update, nothing. They just disappear. All right, guess this stuff wasn't meant to be. Ain't nothing to talk about. If your record for the season is 2-9, your record shit. Ain't nobody talking about the last place team. If they had 11 games and they won 2 games out of 11, they lost 9, then there's no need to talk about them. They're obviously irrelevant. They're obviously irrelevant. And it's very unfortunate that they're irrelevant. Can you explain why Moors say they follow law but are challenging the United States authority? Can you explain why Moors say they follow law but are challenging the United States authority or Canada authority? We'll throw them in there. Because the United States and Canada have no authority. They are not law. Whatever they create is not law. Whatever they create is under color of law, but that's not de jure law. So that's why Moors say follow the law, but challenge the authority of United States and Canada. Because United States and Canada have nothing to do with the law. Zero to do with law. The only authority they have is under color, which is why they need our people to be colored people. Because once our people are colored, now they can use color of law and color of authority and color of everything else, which is how they get away with doing everything that they're doing to our people. Because our people refuse to have a nationality and want to be color. And then color is either black, brown, light skin, or whatever. And color from law is actually fake. distinguished from that which is real. So in order for United States and Canada to have authority, our people need to be colored or calling themselves people of color. And once we start talking about we're people of color, then we're done for. Played ourselves. Played ourselves. All right. So when you hear Moors talking about challenging the authority of United States and Canada, and then in your mind, you start to, well, why are they doing that? Canada and the United States government, and you start going down that road, you're already in error and don't know what the hell you're talking about. You should probably shut the hell up before you get yourself in situations, because you will get yourself in a situation with these people talking crazy. You will get yourself in a situation talking crazy. Why are Moors looked at as just some religious sect? Why are Moors looked at as just some religious sect? Right? And again, when Moors start talking like this, the Moors who are opposed to the propagation of Mohammedan religion are enemies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's why it's looked at like a religious sect. Because if you look at what Noble Drew Ali brought, and if he's telling you about nationality and enforce the Constitution, obviously it's not religious. And then if he's telling you about nationality and proclaim your nationality, obviously it's not a sect, because sects doesn't talk about nationalities. So once again, as soon as in your mind you start looking at, oh, Moorish Science Temple, oh, well, it's called a temple, so that means that it must be some religious whatever. But then you go to the church and you don't see them flying a national flag in the church. And you go to the synagogue and you don't see them flying a national flag in the synagogue. And you go to the mosque and they're not flying a national flag in the mosque. Then that should let you know that this is not religious. That should let you know this is not religious. Because if this was religious, we wouldn't be flying a national flag. The Moorish Science Temple of America flying a national flag should let you know that the Moorish Science Temple of America is not religious. The stuff is really basic. If Noble Drew Ali said, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, those members proclaiming their nationality has nothing to do with religion. If you're going to the temple to proclaim your nationality, they don't do that in church. If you go to church, you're going there to get baptized or something like that. If you're going to the synagogue, you're going to get your little children's penis sucked and to get foreskin rings. But you claim Islam. Who claims Islam? The only Islam we claim is I, self, law, and master. And that's not a religion either. I, self, law, and master is not a religion. It's not an Islamic religion. Because again, we're Muslim. We're not Muslim. We're not Muslim. We know without a shadow of a doubt that we're not Muslim. We know that we're Muslim. And our religion is actually Islamism, which is not Islam. NOI doesn't fly a flag. That's a banner. You're already colored. Talking about NOI flies a flag. They don't fly a flag. NOI flies a banner. And Turkey flies a flag. That's a flag. What the NOI has, that's a banner. Why is it a banner? Because the crescent and star is facing the wrong direction. That's a sect. That's who you should talk about, Muslim sect, the NOI. That's what you should call a sect. Good try though, because obviously you thought that, you know, we're the in the water Moors. We're not those Moors. Good try though. We're not those Moors that you seen playing games on Vice and all that. We're not them. That was a good try. Your attempt failed miserably. Whatever attempt you made, miserably. Because you already got shut down. At this point, you should shut the fuck up, boy, bitch boy. At this point. Shouldn't you be typing anymore? You should just say, oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. That's a national flag. NOI has a banner. They never say that they're Muslim. All Noble Juali stuff says that they're Muslim. Okay, that makes sense. And then you're supposed to shut the fuck up. Right? But hey, you know how it goes. Our people always gotta try to prove something. Wrong and strong. Still trying to prove something. They're wrong and strong. How are you Moors when Moors are from North Africa? How are you Moors when Moors are from North Africa? Well, Egypt is North Africa, right? The high priests of Anu, which is ancient Egypt, their name was Moors, Maurs. Tahuti was an Atlantean. Atlantean means that Tahuti was from Atlantis. He wasn't from ancient Egypt. Tahuti was from Atlantis. So if Tahuti was from Atlantis and Tahuti is known as ancient Egyptian and that's North Africa, but he was from Atlantis, then that would mean that Atlantis is North Africa, right? And before Atlantis sank, the Atlantic Ocean was a river. So, yeah, Moors are from North Africa, but the real question is, where's North Africa? And if you think North Africa is over there only, when every geologist, archaeologist knows that parts of Africa over there were found under America, then you have your stuff all wrong. And you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And now you should shut the fuck up, just like people in the chat. I mean, how are we Moors when Moors are from North Africa? Well, America is North Africa. America is North Africa, if you didn't know. So since America is North Africa, right? If America is North Africa, and we say that we're Moors, then we're from North Africa, even though we're in America. This is not rocket science. This is very simple to get. This is why Noble Drew Ali made his book small, because this is not some advanced stuff. This is real easy. All you have to do is think. That's all. Just think. Right? If Africa, let's just see. Let's just Google it. Part of Africa found under America. Let's just Google it. Chunk of Africa found underneath southeastern US. How is America not Africa? Piece of Africa found under Alabama. How is America not Africa? You're making no sense. Florida Peninsula was once African territory. How is Africa not America and America not Africa? You're making no goddamn sense. Look up Gondwana. The remnants of Gondwana make up 2/3 of today's continental area, including South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, Zealandia, Arabia, etc., etc. Why is this so hard to digest? Don't make it hard. Just accept the reality. That's all. Accept the reality. And then they're talking about a terrifying new ocean is forming in Africa. So that's splitting. And then 50,000 years from now, when there's an ocean in between these two parts of Africa that split, you're going to have some idiots talking about, well, how are you going to say that that's Africa? Africa is right here. Well, dumbass, that other part over there that's separated by an ocean after some hundreds of thousands of years, that stuff separated by ocean? Well, there's chunks of over here, over there. The hell are you talking about? But our people are dumb. Not just our people. A lot of people are dumb. Because they don't think. They don't want to think. They just want to be reactionary. They just want to be reactionary. And it's okay. They can be reactionary. They can be reactionary all they want. Them being reactionary doesn't change truth. Right? You can't change truth. Truth is what it is. could try. You could be here doing whatever it is that you do, thinking that you're doing something, but you're not doing anything. Peace, do you believe in flat earth? How would that work? Well, first of all, if there's mountains, that means there's caverns. If there's hills, that means there's valleys. And if there's hills and valleys, then stuff's not flat. Because there's no way that there's mountains and you're talking about something's flat. That's incompetence. There's no flat. I never left Earth to see what shape it is. Stuff could be triangle. I don't know what shape it is. Based on astrolabes and my ancient foremothers and forefathers creating maps, based on that, we were taught that it's the Europeans who thought the world was flat. And if you sail over there, you're going to fall off the edge and all that. That's the only people I know who said Earth was flat. Modern Europeans who were dumbasses and they didn't know any better, cave people. That's the only people I know. Right? Because when they talk about circumnavigation, which is sailing, they talk about doing that around the globe. When they say circumnavigate, they talk about circumnavigate around. Round, you know what round is? Round is not flat. But again, I never left Earth to know what shape, whatever, and all that. I don't know. And if you're telling me about firmament, I've never been high enough to know if there's some firmament or whatever. All I can deal with is the reality that I'm in. I know about no circumnavigation, anything. And because there's CGI and all that stuff, I'm not believing no rocket went up and then it exploded and that means it hit the firmament and all that stupid BS. Because everybody knows that there's satellites up there and they never hit no damn firmament. You know, satellite hit firmament. But I get the argument. You know, I get it. Some of the stuff makes sense. Right? Some of the stuff makes sense. But you tell me that there's some ice wall and all that stuff, and then people trying to get to the ice wall, but then nobody could pass it because they got it protected by the... Stop the BS. Stop it. Right? That's the smartest stuff Black said all day. The earth is flat and the firmament is round. There you go. So it's not flat then. If you're counting the firmament and the firmament, if you look, a snow globe is not flat. You know, snow globe? That's what you think. That's what you're saying Earth is then, right? Earth is a snow globe because the firmament is the cover that goes over the, right? And then whatever's inside the snow globe, that's the flat. But it's a nonsensical argument because whether Earth is flat, whether Earth is round, whether there's a firmament, whatever, these colonists are still utilizing our land for free. children are still getting molested by pedophiles, whether it's flat or square or round or a globe or whatever. It's not about research. I'm not wasting my time to research whether Earth is flat or not. Who gives a fuck if it's flat or not? People are still dying on this planet. I don't care what it looks like. How about we talk about how we're going to stop the colonists from putting people in prison for no reason? How about we talk about how we're going to stop women from getting their ass kicked by insecure men? Well, who cares whether it's flat or round or a globe or whatever? What is knowing that going to do in your life? Nothing. Let's just say Earth is flat right now. Let's just go with what you're saying. Okay, fine. We're going to agree with you. Earth is flat. Now what? I agree with you, RB. I have no argument. Earth is actually flat because I already did the research and all that stuff. So I'm going with you. Earth is flat. So now what are we going to do now? Earth is flat. What are we going to do? What's our next move? Now that we know that Earth is flat, what are we going to do? No, I'm going with you. Earth is flat. So now what are we going to do? What are we doing now that we know that the Earth is flat? Now what? We're going with you. Everybody in the chat agrees. Yes, Earth is flat. Okay, so now what? You don't need to prove anything to us. We all agree with you that Earth is flat. So what are we doing now as humanity? Now that we know that Earth is flat, what's our next move? Tell me, so we could do it. Because obviously, what we're doing isn't, what we're doing is BS. You have the solution. We need to know if Earth is flat or round. Okay, we agree with you. Earth is flat. So now what? Now what? We're riding with you 100%. Earth is flat. No, but we're agreeing with you. You said I need to do research more. I'm letting you know I've done the research on whether Earth is flat or not. And guess what? You're right. Earth is flat. So what are we doing now that we know, that we agree that Earth is flat? You just put me on game that I never considered before, that Earth might be flat. You're actually right. Earth is flat. So what are we doing now? Simple question. Now that we know Earth flat, what's our next move? I'll wait. I got time tonight. I got time tonight. Exactly. Nothing. So let's get back to the questions. How is Noble Drew Ali a prophet? How is Noble Drew Ali a prophet? Well, being that a prophet is an individual who has been inspired by the will of the Creator. Everything that a prophet says is what they call prophecy. This is what it is. It's prophets have prophecies. And then a prophecy is a spiritual prediction. Prophecy is a spiritual prediction. So Noble Drew Ali made some statements in one of his writings called Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nations. When we go to Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nations, he made statements about if people keep violating the law, there's going to be earthquakes and all that stuff going on, right? That was 1920s. Between 1920s and now, has there been earthquakes and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And these earthquakes, is it solely based on tectonic plates shifting and all that stuff? Yeah, you can say that. So that's not really prophecy because that's Earth doing that. All right, no problem. So when we go to the oral statements, the hadiths, Noble Drew Ali said, if the United States be just, they would have an Asiatic president and a European vice president. And then there was the black president. Everybody was going nuts. There was a black president. And then the vice president was a European. And then then they would have a European president and an Asiatic vice president. And then right now, there's a European president and an Asiatic vice president. That's 2 terms back to back that Noble Drew Ali's prophecy manifested, one right after the other. He predicted that in the 1920s. Stuff happened a couple of years ago. That would qualify as prophecy. In the oral statements, Noble Drew Ali said, the warm weather is going to be in the north. Where we are, Toronto's north. When I was in high school, in January, it was minus 40, and you have snow up to your knees, and then snow banks above your head. Snow banks above your head. And that snow will be there. It's not melting. It's just going to be there. Snow banks above your head until it gets warm enough to melt all this snow. Right now, January 11th, 2024, there's grass that you can see outside. It's 3 degrees outside right now. It's 3 degrees right now. When I was in high school, in the 90s, snow was up to your knees in January. It is a known fact that the coldest months of winter out here are January and February. 1920s, Noble Drew Ali said the cold weather is going to be in the south. The warm weather is going to be in the north. 3 degrees in January here, that's considered warm weather in comparison to minus 40. That's prophecy. Noble Drew Ali told the Moors in the Hadith, you're going to look outside and wild animals would be roaming the street. Remember COVID? Remember this thing called COVID that happened and everybody was trapped in the house? And then when people eventually got back outside, there was deer and fox and all this stuff just running up and down the place because everybody was inside, nobody was outside, and animals pretty much took back over. All types of endangered species and all that stuff reappearing and all that. Those are called wild animals. Couple, maybe 2 months ago. Maybe 2 months ago. Here, in this jurisdiction up here, people reported a kangaroo was running up and down the street. A kangaroo. That's pretty much that's as wild of an animal as you can get out here. Kangaroo running up and down the street. If a kangaroo is running up and down the street and you still think Noble Drew Ali is not a prophet, then I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. Noble Drew Ali told the Moors in the Hadith, Chicago and Detroit are doomed for what they did to the prophet. And then remember all those crises that was happening in Detroit? I still think they still don't have water right now. It was about 10 years they haven't had water. You don't think you're doomed if you have no water? Chicago was the highest murder capital of all the cities. Highest. Do you think that that's doom? That's Noble Drew Ali's prophecy manifesting. And then we talked about, 5 or 6 of these hadiths. There's 200 and something of those. And you go through the 200 and something of those, about 70% of those things happened between the time of Noble Drew Ali transitioning and today's date. About 70% of those happened. 70% of 200 something. That's a pretty good record. That's a pretty good record. If 70% of 200, that's a pretty good record. I would trust that he's a prophet if you know what's good for you. If you don't know what's good for you, then hey, no problem. The worst is yet to come. He said that too. If you don't hear what he's saying, the worst is yet to come. And people haven't heard what he's saying, and the worst has came. You think boys wanting to be girls and getting sex changes and stuff like that isn't the worst coming? You think it's going to get worse than that? You think it get worse than that? Children being allowed to change their sex without their parents' consent? You don't see robots out here bringing people's Uber Eats? You don't see cars driving themselves? If you still think that Noble Drew Ali is not a prophet, and you're in doubt, and you're talking about some 2,000-year-old people when there was a prophet 100 years ago, giving you prophecies out the yin yang, and you're still in doubt, don't worry. You're gonna get yours. You're gonna learn the hard way. Don't worry. Keep playing. Keep playing. I would suggest not playing games, but if you want to play games, go ahead. Why don't Moors believe that Noble Drew Ali is a prophet? Oh, sorry, is a plagiarist. Why don't Moors believe that Noble Drew Ali is a plagiarist? So plagiarism is taking somebody else's stuff and pushing it as your own. Right? Noble Drew Ali never said that the work that he presented, because they usually apply Noble Drew Ali as a plagiarist to the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple. Noble Drew Ali never said that that was his own. He said it was divinely prepared. And he told you that the Muslims of other places had these secrets, and he's revealing these secrets to you. So he's telling you that he got it from other places. So if he's telling you he got it from other places, then he's not taking somebody else's stuff and passing it as his own. And if he's not doing that, then he's not a plagiarist. Which is why Moors don't play into that BS that Noble Drew Ali is a plagiarist. Because it's impossible for him to be a plagiarist, because he's telling you where he got all the stuff from that he got. He's telling you where he got it from. He's not lying. He's not to lie about. He's the prophet. What is he lying for? Nothing to ask about. Okay. Why do Moors believe everything is prepaid and there's some sort of formula to acquire tangible things such as a house, car, bills paid, etc.? Why do Moors believe everything is prepaid and there's some sort of formula to acquire tangible things such as house, car, bills paid, etc.? So if you go to James Trafficant bankruptcy speech, actually, let's see if that pulls up. Let's see if that pulls up. Right. So what you realize is that we've been lied to. We've been lied to. Our problem is that we've been lied to, but we haven't accepted the fact that we've been lied to. We haven't accepted the fact that we've been lied to. That's our issue as people. Right? We've been lied to and haven't accepted it. So when you check out this this speech from James Trafficant, he reveals some things in the speech, which is to let you know that everything is paid for already, right? So this was somebody's writ that they filed for whatever they filed it for, but there's excerpts of the speech, and they used this in 2017 for whatever they used it for, right? Right, claimant, whatever, L. Bay on there, right? July 2017. So this is some of the stuff that was in James Trafficant's speech. Right? And don't forget, they murdered him. Let's keep that in mind. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9th, 1933. So since 1933, United States federal government has been dissolved. Right, period. So there hasn't been any United States federal government since 1933. So this stuff that people are calling right now United States government or whatever like that, they're confused. Because since 1933, there hasn't been a United States federal government. Public Law 89-719 declared by President Roosevelt being bankrupt and insolvent. So on top of the United States federal government being dissolved, it's also bankrupt and insolvent. So if it's bankrupt, that means that they have no money, which is why everything that they use, everything that's used, and this goes for Canada too, everything that they use as money is not gold and silver because they're bankrupt. So when you go to the store and you take something off the shelf and you go to the teller and they beep, 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 and then you give them some notes for those things that are actual tangible things, and you give them these notes and then they accept the notes from you, and then you get to leave the store with these things, whatever it is. If money is gold and silver and you could only pay with gold and silver, did you just pay for those things? No, you didn't. You didn't pay for those. So if you didn't pay for them, then that means that you got them for free. But how do you get them for free? Because they're already paid for. But they have us in the mindset that, oh, we gave them money, so we paid for it. No, money is gold and silver. You didn't pay for it. So there's no need to try to not pay for things, because you're not paying for things if you give them the paper or the credit card or the debit card. You're not paying for it. It's already paid for. It's just a interaction to make you think that you did something. You didn't do anything. Think about it. Real money is gold and silver. That's it. Did you give gold and silver when you just went to the grocery store? No, you didn't. What did you give them? You gave them debt notes. You gave them a receipt. You gave them a piece of paper or a piece of plastic, and they accepted the plastic for the value that's on the screen. They put it in the till. They give you change that you accept for the value that's on the screen based on what you gave them. You left the store with the stuff, but you actually didn't pay for it because there's no money. You can't pay for it because money is only gold and silver. It's a warped concept, and it really messes with people's head because we have this thing of overthinking stuff when you don't have to overthink. It's right in your face, just like your nose, just on your face, and you don't have to think. Blow my nose, and it's like, well, how am where should I put the tissue if I'm gonna blow my nose? And then you start thinking about stuff that you don't need to be thinking about. Just accept the fact that the United States and Canada federal governments are dissolved, bankrupt, and insolvent. They're not government. They're not anything like that. We've been played. Knowing that, all you got to do is just keep playing the game, and you'll be all right. Well, what if I want to buy something? You're not buying anything, because if you have gold and silver, you're not going to give it to them to go buy anything anyways, because they're not giving you gold and silver change. They're going to give you debt notes change and then keep your gold and silver. So like when they tell people, buy gold and buy silver, and then people go out and buy all this gold and silver, you think you're spending that? You're not spending that. You're just getting rid of the debt notes so you can actually have real money. You're never going to spend the gold and the silver. Never. Never, ever. That stuff is not going to leave your possession. Right? And again, for the jackasses who think too much, stop thinking so much. You don't need to think so much. There is no gold and silver to pay for anything, because everything is already paid for. All you have to do is show them this debt note that everybody assumes is money. That's all. Give them the debt note and they'll give you whatever it is that you want. You want that car in the window? They want 500,000 debt notes. You get your 500,000 debt notes, whether it's credit or you go in there with a briefcase of 500,000 debt notes, you put it down, and they're going to give you the keys. No questions asked. This stuff is not rocket science. Why would you give them your gold and silver? Why? Why would I take my gold and silver and give it to these people when I know my gold and silver is worth more with it being in my possession than in theirs? That's like saying, oh yeah, I have Mickey Mantle's rookie card. I have Michael Jordan's rookie card, and I'm going to go give this rookie card to them and let them give me 1 million debt notes. And think that I won. Think that I benefited because I gave up the rookie card for these debt notes. It's not about falling for my BS. It's about James Trafficant. Just go look it up. House Joint Resolution 192. This is not what I'm saying. Don't get mad at me because I decide to read, and I'm not an idiot. I read. This is James Trafficant's U.S. bankruptcy speech, U.S. congressional record, March 17th, 1993, volume 33, page H1303. Go look it up. This is not what I'm saying on YouTube. This is not my beliefs. This is in the congressional record of the United States. This is not my stuff that I'm reading. Joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause dissolved the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all. You know what all means? Dissolved all United States government offices. They're dissolved. Officers, they're dissolved. Departments, they're dissolved, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today, January 11th, 2024, today, in name only. So United States federal government exists today only in name. There's no government called United States government. It's been dissolved since 1933, according to congressional record, not according to Canaanland Moor's YouTube, not according to some book a Moor wrote, not according to Taj Tariq Bey, not according to RV Bay Publications, according to U.S. congressional record. You know what U.S. congressional record is? That's the United States people who have the stars with the stripes and stuff like that. They are saying this. So if they are saying that their own self is dissolved, why are you mad at us? Why are you mad at Moors? Why are you making statements as if Moors are the ones saying something wrong? You seem to get offended and aggressive just from a question being asked. Yeah, because go ask the fucking congressional records. What the fuck you asking me questions? I'm not the one saying this. I'm not the one saying this. This is United States congressional records. Look up their email and go ask them. Don't ask me about their records. Why are you asking me about their records? You're making no sense. This is not my language. This is the congressional records of the United States. Go ask them about this. Don't make it sound like it's Moors. Well, the Moors keep saying that there's no money and the debt notes, and that's not real. That's a lie. The United States government exists, and they have a building right now, and they have a Senate, and they have... Why are you telling me that for? I'm not the one that said that they're dissolved. I'm not the one that said that they're insolvent and bankrupt. They said that out their own mouth, in their own records. United States congressional records is who you need to go check. Don't check Moors. It goes on. Gold and silver were such a powerful money during the founding of the United States of America that the founding fathers declared that only gold or silver coins shall be money in America. And then you can go check the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 1, Section 10, and it's going to tell you the exact same thing that the congressional records is telling you. Only gold and silver can be used for payment of debts. That's not what Moors say. That's what the United States Constitution says. Why are you going at Moors? There's not Moors that say that. That's the United States Constitution that Biden just took his oath on to defend and all that stuff. And then none of you people are questioning these people when they took an oath to the Constitution that says gold and silver is the only money for payment of debts. You're going to come at Moors. When you go at Biden, he's the one with the oath. Go at Biden. You're not going to go at Biden, are you? You're going to stay in Moorish chats. Talk crazy to Moors. Right? And then when you get checkmated, then you start talking about the Canadian, Jamaican, African. What the fuck does Canadian, Jamaican, African have to do with the question that was asked? Which the question is, why do Moors believe everything is prepaid and there's some sort of formula to acquire tangible things such as a house, car, bills paid, etc.? That's what we're reviewing right now. We're answering the question right now why Moors talk how we talk with regard to debt and money and bills and whatever. We're talking about that right now. And we're talking about that because it's in the congressional records of the United States from March 17th, 1993. That's why we're talking about it. We're not talking about Jamaican, Canadian, Africans. The fuck does that have to do with paying debts? Instead of you just shut the fuck up because you got trumped and you sound like a fucking idiot right now, you're just making up stupid shit. And then expect Moors to not cuss you out for being a dumbass, trying to sound smart in Moorish chat. Go into black chats and try to sound smart. Don't be coming into Moorish chats trying to sound smart. Because we know all you people are fucking idiots. We know you're idiots because we know niggers don't read. And we know modern Europeans, they don't read. Because if they read, they'll realize that they're a foreigner here. And they stop calling Mexicans and them people immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're indigenous to the land. The only foreigner here is these modern Europeans who they have a U.S. congressional record proving the point or answering the question that was asked about why do Moors think everything's paid for. We're telling you right now. And you could take it or leave it. We don't give a shit. We have zero fucks to give. We open the bag, look in there, no fucks in there. Zero. People traded their coupons as money or currency. Currency is not money, but a money substitute. Redeemable currency must promise to pay a dollar equivalent in gold or silver money. Federal Reserve notes, the stuff that we have right now that we call money, make no such promises and are not money. So when you give Federal Reserve notes, you are not giving money. And if you don't give money, you didn't pay. And if you're not paying, it's only because it's already paid for. A Federal Reserve note is a debt obligation of the federal United States government, not money. And that's in somebody's affidavit. And do your research. Hope you find it. United States Congressional Records, James Trafficant Jr., bankruptcy speech, March 17th, 1993. You'll need to debate Moors. You need to debate Moors. Debating Moors for. Now the problem why this is so hard to do as far as discharge debts and all that stuff, the reason why this is so hard to do is because 1933 to 2024, nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. Everybody went with the fact that, oh yeah, United States government, Canada government, and played games for 100 years. Right? You really are an airhead. You really are an airhead genius. You really are. Give you a case number, state something other than somebody's affidavit. We didn't state somebody's affidavit, you fucking idiot. We stated the United States Congressional Record. Do you not understand English? We gave you a quote from the congressional records of the United States that someone excerpted that and put it in the affidavit. We didn't give you somebody's affidavit, you big dummy. We gave you an excerpt. That's why we keep giving you the date, the congressional record number, so you don't have to be asking or making dumbass comments. Just shut the fuck up. Go on Google and go find the congressional record bankruptcy speech and read it for yourself. Blah, blah, blah. Right? That's how we know. That's how we know to just push this button right here and then push this button right here and put your ass in timeout like a little bitch boy. You go in the corner. You face the corner right now. Face the corner, stupid bitch. Face the corner. You're a fucking idiot. Do temples help acquiring this formula? Should one use that as a deciding factor when looking to join one? If not, what is the advantage of joining a temple? If one gets a charge ticket or dealing with any administrative courts, would they assist? So 1, do temples help acquiring this formula? Depends if that temple does those things. There are temples that make the claim that they do these things. Prepaid debts, discharge debts, whatever like that. If they do, then you go talk with those temples and see if the formula works. Get the information, apply the information. It's either going to work or it's not. That's the most that could happen. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. And then you go wherever you're going from there. Should one use that as a deciding factor when joining a temple? That's not a deciding factor that they know how to do these things. Right? That's not what you're looking for when you see a temple. But, oh, they know how to discharge debt, so I'm going to go join that temple. Well, not really. You know, they should probably have some proof that they've done it before you start listening to what they're saying. I would want to see at least 10 people who did this thing and it worked. I don't want to see one guy do something and then say, oh yeah, that worked, so let me go do it. I want to see at least a track record of a multiplicity of people doing this process or whatever they call it to see if it works. Then if not, what is the advantage of joining a temple? Well, Noble Drew Ali said that Allah guides the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and the Moorish Science temples are part of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. So if you're part of a temple, then you're actually tying yourself, connecting yourself, linking yourself through Noble Drew Ali with Allah, which you should probably want to do. And I think that's a benefit. I think that's an advantage. Because up until Noble Drew Ali, we didn't have Allah in our life. We had some fake aberrations, calling that God and all that stuff. You didn't know what the hell God was before Noble Drew Ali. So I think the advantage is there. If one gets a charge ticket or dealing with any administrative courts, would they assist? The only assistance that they would be giving would be to witness and seal whatever documents you are putting forth for whatever situation you're dealing with. Other than that, you're doing everything. Because remember, if you're in propria persona, that means no attorney. If you're in propria persona, that means no one's speaking on your behalf. You're speaking for yourself. Because you said that you have nationality and you're Moorish American. All right, so if you're a Moorish American and you have a nationality, that means you're in propria persona, which means pleas to the court must be made in propria persona, so they're not made by an attorney. And if the pleas are made in propria persona, that means the individual who is going to court or tribunal or kangaroo court or whatever it is, wherever it is that they're going, is competent and capable of defending themselves. If they're not capable of defending themselves, then they shouldn't be doing things to get them in those jurisdictions, because ain't nobody gonna be in there to save you. You should know how to save yourself if you're gonna go out there, standing on the highway with arms and all that stuff, playing like you know something. But if you can't even fill up a gas tank, you probably shouldn't be on the highway with arms talking about you got right to bear arms and you're Moors. So obviously you're incompetent. And everybody saw and everybody knows you're incompetent. Right? Honestly, I know no Moors who have won any cases from the premise you teach. Seems like when it's time to put it to work, it seems to always fail. So you're not going to blame the courts for that? You're going to blame Moors? You're not going to blame the fake-ass judge for that? You're going to blame Moors? You're not going to blame the court clerk for not filing Moors papers when they have a trial? You're going to blame Moors and then say it doesn't work? Like, why would you blame Moors? Why wouldn't you blame the corrupt court? That you know that the courts are corrupt, James. You know those courts are corrupt. You tell me every time you went to court, James, you won? Don't lie. These courts never railroaded you before? Had you going home talking about, I didn't freaking even get that ticket. Why they make me pay the fine or whatever like that? You cussing the court? Stop the BS. Tell me every time you went to court, James, you got your stuff dismissed. You never went to court. You never had an interaction with a police that gave you a ticket. And then you said, this fucking idiot gave me a ticket. Why did he give me a ticket for? I didn't even do nothing. Well, no, I got to go to court. I got to miss a day of work to go pay or whatever like that. You told me every single interaction that you've had with the court, every single interaction you've had with a police has been positive, James? Is that what you're saying? And if it has been positive, then where's your classes teaching us how to do this stuff? Of course, you've never been to court for tickets. Of course, conveniently, you never been to court for tickets. How convenient. Have you been to court for anything, James? Anything at all? Have you been to court for anything whatsoever? Nothing? You've never been to court? All right. I guess you never know what it means to go to court. Clearly. Because for you to say no Moors who have won any cases from the premise that I teach, then that means you've been to every Moor's trial to know that no Moors have ever won. So you've been to every Moorish trial to know that no Moors have ever won? I doubt you've been to every Moorish trial, James. Stop being a fucking troll. Because you're just being a troll. Because you haven't been to all Moorish trials to know that no Moors have gotten off on charges. What about ex parte with in personam or in propria persona? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. You got to re-ask that question. Because what about ex parte with in personam or in propria persona? What about ex parte? So you have to ask that one again. Why aren't these judges and clerks in jail for these crimes? Why aren't the Catholic priests in jail for their crimes against children? Why aren't rabbis in jail for sucking children's penises, claiming that it's cutting off foreskins? Asking stupid shit. What do you mean, why aren't judges and clerks in jail? Why would they arrest their boys? Would you arrest your boys? Stop it. You're just making up stuff now. You know what, James? You can go in the damn corner too. Go look at yourself in the corner. Full of shit. Playing games with Moors. Told you, we're not these. Oh, and there's Corey right there. I defended myself in federal firearms case and case dismissed. There you go. There's a Moor who won in court. No, he didn't win in court. Show us the case number. Show us the case number. Hell, do you need the case number for? Moor's right there. It's a case. What's the case number going to tell you? Okay, what's the case number going to tell you what this Moor right here is not telling you right now to your face? An ex parte decision is one decided by a judge without requiring all of the parties to dispute being present. If you are suing, sue ex parte and in personam, in propria persona. All right. All right. I mean, I don't know why you would sue ex parte when you would want to be there to make sure that the people who you're suing are there so that you could see them get locked up. If you're suing, like, why wouldn't you want to be there? And I just find that's an interesting concept too, that all these Moors, they're in propria persona and all that stuff, but they don't want to be in court for some reason. Like, why would you not go to court to make sure that the corrupt judge does the job right? Oh, you know, they're not botching your paperwork, liquid paper and stuff out your paperwork if you're ex parteing your suit. Like, why wouldn't you want to be there to bear witness to your claims? And if you did sue ex parte and then you won, then where's the winnings and what did you do with the winnings from your suit? Did you just go buy a Lambo for yourself? Did you buy a lake, call it a pool, and just you by yourself swimming in your pool size lake. Because if you're talking about you entering suits and all that stuff, then you've done this process. If you've done this, then you won. And if you won, then what did you do with the finance that you got from your win? How much did you sue them for? Because I don't know any Moors that sue for under 25 million. So if you're suing, whether you're suing as a religious corporation, whether you're suing in propria persona, whether you're suing as a nation, did you win the suit? And if you won, then what did you do with the finance when you won your suit? If you didn't sue and you didn't win, then why are we having a conversation about something you never did? Doesn't make sense having a conversation about it if you never did it. Could you please elaborate on the rights of indigenous peoples or the rights of a child genocide section and how that applies to us and our people in Gaza? Well, like us, the people in Gaza are not in propria persona because they're not Palestinians. So they don't have any claim. Just like our people getting murdered in the street, and then it's not human rights issues, it's always civil rights issues because they don't have a status. Same thing going on in Gaza right now. Why do you think nobody's helping them? Why do you think everybody's just marching up and down the place for them, but nobody's helping them? And bombs dropped on them right now because they don't have a nationality, because Palestinian is not a nationality. Everybody knows over there that's Canaan. And they're not calling themselves Canaanites or Moors. They're calling themselves Palestinian. So they're going to get murdered forever, just like the Negro black coloreds in America get murdered forever with no remedy or no recourse. And you can't find me a Moor that they murdered. And don't tell me about Courtroom Gaines and Mansour Balbay. Because when Mansour Balbay was murdered, he was wearing a UPS outfit. So nobody even knew he was a Moor until people stepped up and said he's a Moor. And Courtroom Gaines, that ain't no Moorish appellation. And because she said challenge the jurisdiction, that doesn't mean that she proclaimed her nationality as a Moor. So she was stateless too. So still waiting to find me a Moor that they murdered, who was declared. I'm talking about people with Moorish flags hanging out their window. That means that they're declared Moors. Yeah, 1993 is it? There's nothing. 1993, James Traficant bankruptcy speech. No, I never sued anybody. I never claimed to sue anybody. Never, ever, not once have I ever claimed to sue anybody or try to sue anybody or want to sue anybody. Because I already know that these people are criminals. But if I am gonna sue, or if I do sue, I would sue as a body. I wouldn't sue as an individual. I would sue as a body. Class action if I'm gonna sue. Right. And for the James Trafficant, look up the congressional records of it, opposed to some video on YouTube. Oh yeah, World Gold chart should have it. I mean, you could sue as an individual, but if you can't claim we're Moorish American and then sue as an individual, because that's nation talk. Like no man is island. So you can't claim all in your suit. Oh yeah, the Moorish nation, the Moorish nation, the Moorish nation, and then you're suing as an individual. It makes your claims look frivolous, which is why they keep saying Moor's stuff is frivolous. You can sue your estate. If you're talking about the straw man, that's not your estate. Straw man's not an estate. Not your estate, at least. Well, you didn't create that straw man. So that's not yours. So don't call it yours. Stop calling it yours. It's a straw man. It's the straw man. It's there, but don't call it yours. Yes, it's all about trusts and estates, but they took the E off estates. So all you have is states right now. There's no estates. So you can throw that out the window, because you can't use states, because that's a fraud. And then Moors killed Noble Drew Ali. So you can't use trust either, because there's no trust. Because Moors killed Noble Drew Ali. And Moors are the ones selling packages to people for 5,000 to 7,000, calling themselves consular generals right now. So there's no trust. So you could throw that out the window. And it's Moors who they're supposed to mute when they get on the thing, and then they're not muting, and then they're talking about pork chop sandwiches and talking about, excuse me, and all that stuff being unmuted. So don't tell me about trust. Love to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, but he did not create the Al-Moroccan Empire. No, nobody said he created the Al-Moroccan Empire. But he's the only one that brought it to our attention that there was such a thing. Because nobody was talking about Moroccan Empire before Noble Drew Ali, at least to the Asiatics of America. Why is it always court stuff and never divine things these people speak of? Because this European has our people in a chokehold. And they always wait until they're in some situation to start talking Moorish. But when everything's cool and there's no issues and the sex is good and all that stuff, they're not talking Moorish. Moorish doesn't mean anything until their back's against a wall. Now all of a sudden they want to figure out how to how to do stuff Moorish. So without the body politic, is there really a Moorish nation currently? Once there's Moors, there's a Moorish nation. Man, we know that there's Moors. Just look on this chat right here. There's Moors on here. We do have the Sundry Free Moor Act and treaties entered prior to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He also said it would be new Moors who moved the old Moors out the way. And I haven't seen any new Moors move any old Moors anywhere other than myself, because we're Moorish Science Temple of America. And we're still Moorish Science Temple of America. Still Moorish Science Temple of America. Hasn't changed names and switched stuff and whatever like that. We started as Moorish Science Temple of America, and we're still Moorish Science Temple of America right now. Grand Sheik Nature, they're Moorish Science Temple of America. He's been Moorish Science Temple of America before we were Moorish Science Temple of America. He's one of our master teachers. And we know, based on his work, he's one of the new Moors who came and sat old Moors in the back. But it's supposed to be way more than just me and him. Because 90% of Moorish Science Temple of Americas, they've been pushing religion, Moorish church, which is why stuff still has old Moors. Just go look at Braswell Bay. He can't even walk. Look at Bratton Bay. These people are 80 years old, still in the seat. Why are they in the seat still? They ain't find nobody young to put in the seat yet. Look at Braswell Bay. He can't even walk. That's an old Moor. You need to give up the seat. But he ain't giving up the seat because he's in this for the fame and nobility. It's not what I say. Just look. It's right in your face. Why is it that I don't find Moor in my family records? My family never taught us we were Moors. What did your family teach you that you were? What's in the family records? So, for example, my family records didn't say Moor, but it said MC, and I know MC are Moors. Capital M, small c, and then whatever last name, McDougal, McJohnson, right? Once you see MC, that's Moors. So it didn't say Moor in our family records, but it said MC, which means Moors. So what name was in the family records when you did your research? And then when you found the name, whatever name it is, did you research that name to see what the origin of that name is? Negro, Black, Indian, colored is what I found in mine, and my grandmother was a full-blood Choctaw. Well, Negro is Black. Those two are the same. Then Indian, if you go to the Delaware, who were Indians, they had the classification of M on their licenses. M stood for Moor. So Indians aren't Indians, Indians are Moors. And Negro, Black, colored are a fiction. Noble Drew Ali told you that. And he also told you that Negro, Black, colored people are actually Moors. And they shouldn't be calling themselves Negro, Black, colored people. So it was in the record that you're Moors. They just had it under a different name called Negro, Black, Indian, Colored, or Choctaw. But a Moor is any dark-skinned person, especially an African Negro. And you already know you're not Negro, Black, Colored, or Indian, because India is Hindustan. And if they're claiming that they're Indian, then they're actually claiming that they're a British corporation. And if they're claiming that they're Choctaw and Cherokee and whatever like that, that's just a tribe. That's not a nation. But Noble Drew Ali is Cherokee. And he never said, never, ever did Noble Drew Ali say he's Cherokee. Never. And Noble Drew Ali is full-blood Cherokee. Because his mom's Cherokee, so he's Cherokee. So if Drew Ali's Cherokee, and he never said, I'm Cherokee, he said, I'm Moors, then what's anybody who's claiming Indian tribes talking about? Right. They call you Indians. But that's not who our people were. They weren't Indians. This is not India. So you can't be Indian. And if we're Moors of the Moroccan Empire, then we can't be subjects because we're nationals. And a national is not a subject. A national is not a subject. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But, you know, it's only a lot because certain people didn't do their job. And keep in mind that the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. Google that. The word Indian was substituted for Moorish. Just Google that. You keep missing it, Trevor. There's no such thing as Negro, Black, Colored, or Indian. Those things do not exist. Those are a fiction. Are you a fiction or are you real? If you're real, then you're a Moor. I don't care what those records say, especially if those records don't call you a Moor. Fuck those records. How don't you have Moroccans in your family if you're not dark skinned? Unless you're not dark skinned. If you're a modern European, then I guess you don't have Moroccans in your family. Are you Asiatic, Trevor? Your family Asiatics? Do you look like Olmec heads? If you look like Olmec heads, then you're a Moor. It was a great session today. Great questions. Honors to all the Moors who sent in their questions. Honors to all the trolls for giving us some ammo, give us a reason to cuss some people out so we don't get strikes on our channel. We could always blame the trolls and not get strikes. People come in here causing confusion on our stuff. Right? Right. So if you're a quote unquote black guy, then you're a Moor. If you're a quote unquote black guy, you're actually not a black guy. You're actually not Negro. You're actually not colored. You're actually not Indian. You're actually not Choctaw. You're a Moor. And that's the hidden secret. Right? Then you notice I said hidden secret because the secret's already hidden. So this is the double hiding stuff from you. The double hiding stuff from you. Unfortunately, that's how they do our people. Right? That's how they do our people. They give us these brand names, and then our people, because grandma said that we're Choctaw, and then grandma ate pork and all that stuff. Grandma was cooking chitterlings and all that, and said that you're Indian. And killing buffalo, eating buffalo guts and all that stuff, talking about you're Indian. But you're talking about you're vegan. You're vegetarian. Everybody has their path to walk. Truth is stranger than fiction. That's why our people are so easy to accept the brand names, because they're not going to see that as truth. They're not going to see that as truth. And then you could also consider this. If you're going to go with your families are Choctaws and all that, if we're going to go with that, then that means you should be going with United Nations declarations of rights of Indigenous people. And if you're going with the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, then that would mean that you have to have a nationality, because that's a qualification of being Indigenous, having a nationality. And Choctaw, Cherokee, Chippewa, Algonquin, Iroquois, those aren't nationalities. Those are tribes or confederations. So you're still not getting told who you are. What's your nationality, Trevor? What's your nationality? Because you see Negum right there? Negum lives on a reserve, and he knows that he's a Moor. He's Indigenous. He's Indigenous. He's native. He lives on a reserve. Right now, he's on the reserve. No, American's not a nationality. That's a continent. America is a continent. You can't be American. What's your nationality? I said. You're still giving me brand names. You can't be just American, just like somebody can't be African. When I ask somebody from Africa, hey, what are you? They don't say, I'm African. They give their nationality. You can't tell me you're American. America is a continent. People are not continents. So what's your nationality? Better you say, I don't know. Then if you say you don't know, then now here we go, which is why the importance of Noble Drew Ali, and why we were even doing this, and why, if you go check the record, we've been doing this all week in honor of Noble Drew Ali, because he's the one that brought us back our nationality. And our nationality is that we're Moors. We're Moorish American, descendants of Moroccans born in America. And Noble Drew Ali comes from the tribe of Cherokees, and he had a nationality, Moorish American. So if Montezuma had a nationality of Moor, and his headdress is called Moorish, and he's called Moorish, then, I mean, this is not rocket science, but you know, everybody's not ready for truth, which is understandable. When you leave here to Europe, you're asked your nationality outside of North America. And what's that have to do with anything? Moorish is not recognized. Prove it. Prove that Moorish is not recognized. Prove it, Trevor. You said your claim is that Moorish is not recognized. Okay, prove that Moorish is not recognized. Because we could prove to you that Moorish is recognized, because look at all the Moors that are on here. Find me a Choctaw on here, other than yourself. Anybody else on here Choctaw? And if somebody on here is Choctaw, I bet you they have a nationality. Oh, no, we're not familiar with international law. You're just like the other one. As soon as you get stumped like the Schwab, you switch to a different subject matter, start talking about some different stuff. Has nothing to do with what the hell we're talking about. How don't I know international law if I just told you UN Declarations of Rights of Indigenous People, which comes from the United Nations, which is international law? What do you mean, where is Moorish recognized in international law? What do you mean? Now, what kind of question is that? Where is Moorish recognized in international law? That's like, where is Jewish recognized in international law? Where is Black, Negro, Colored, Choctaw recognized in international law? Where's that? Where's that recognized? Somebody answered you. Let's start with the treaty. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship. That's international law. In the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, it mentions Moors about 6 times. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship is where Moor is recognized in international law. There's your answer. Now what? Are you going to deny it? Because we know the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is international law, because that was done between Morocco, which is international, and United States of America, which is international. And treaties are law. So there you go. The treaty. Now, where is Choctaw recognized in international law? Where is Black, Negro, Colored, Indian recognized in international law? You got a lot of research to do, Trevor. You're behind. You're behind. You got a lot of catching up to do. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for all the work that he's done and continues to do through all this faithful, active Moors. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Honors to all the trolls and all the Moor haters. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Again, honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace and love, Moors. Don't forget, it's still Noble Drew Ali week, so look for something tomorrow. We're going from the 8th until the 15th, giving honors to our illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Islam.